In today's video, I'm going to be addressing one of the most common questions that I get, and that is, how do you take difficult decisions? What's up, you guys? My name's Yahya, founder and creator of the Record Breaker program, where I help entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches, consultants, and course creators shatter past their highest ever recorded revenue by unlocking the potential of their mind. So by the end of the video, you're going to know three things. First thing, you're going to know why you tend to take the wrong decision again and again, and then spend needless hours, time, and money on trying to make it right. The second thing you will know is how to intuitively take the right decision. And the third thing you will know is how to do it in the shortest amount of time, because time is money. With that said, I'd like to predicate this entire video by explaining to you how the mind works. So let's imagine your mind as two people working together in cohesion. One is the master, one is the slave. One is the person who calls the shots, has the big picture in mind, knows the goal, knows the strategy, knows everything that needs to be done. And the other person is the one who does all of it. So the master decides what to do and then tells the slave what to do. The master can be referred to as your subconscious mind, and the slave is the conscious mind. Now, to give you an example of when you're subconscious, you are subconscious about 90 to 95% of the time. When you're driving, cooking, cleaning, showering, sitting and watching television, reading a book, meditating, walking, running, any exercise, it's all subconscious. You're not actively thinking about what you're doing. You've driven a car so many times, it's learned behavior. You've taken a shower so many times, you've brushed your teeth so many times, it's learned behavior. You no longer need to think about how you're going to brush your teeth before brushing your teeth. So the subconscious mind is in control and it teaches you all of that. So while executing, you don't have much to think about. 5% of the time, the remaining 5% is the conscious mind. When you're actively working on a report, or you're playing a computer game, or you're doing some work on your computer, or you're talking to someone, that's when, well, a lot of people go subconscious even while talking, but that's generally when the conscious mind is working. So the subconscious is the planner, big picture. The conscious is pick up this mug, move it from here to here and put it down. That's the conscious mind. Now let's link it to decision making. Most people have been taught to use their conscious mind to think. So more often than not, people will sit in front of a computer screen, put up all the facts, all the data, look at the numbers, this, that, and the other. Depending on the nature of the decision that needs to be taken, maybe you're investing in something, maybe you're deciding to change careers, maybe you're deciding to start a relationship or end a relationship. The relationship could be personal, could be business. Maybe you're deciding on a new vocation or a new vacation. Big picture decisions, selling a house, buying a car. More often than not, the regular methods that people use would be writing things down. Write down the pros and cons, right? That's a good method. It works pretty well. Write down the pros and cons. A more advanced method would be write down the pros and cons and assign weightages to them. Other people would put up spreadsheets on their computer screens. Other people would just look at something, so on and so forth, and force their conscious mind to spit out a decision so they know it's right. That's not how it works. That is why, invariably, you end up taking decisions that you regret. And you're like, oh my God, I wish I hadn't done this. Oh my God, I wish I listened to my gut, right? That's a big one. A lot of people say, you know what? My gut wasn't in it. I had a bad feeling about this, but all of that happens in retrospect. Once you've already taken the decision and you're suffering the consequences of the said decision. The other way to do it is to not actively force a decision, but let your subconscious mind do it. So now you understand why you tend to take the wrong decisions, because most of us are conscious decision takers. We consciously try to take decisions. Now, the problem with that is the more complex a decision, the more moving parts, the more things that need to be looked at, evaluated, taken into consideration, the harder it gets for the conscious mind to hold all those variables and then try to compute. Again, look at a computer example. A subconscious mind has huge bandwidth to work with. So a lot of data can be chunked into that bandwidth so as to allow you for better, faster, and more efficient processing. The conscious mind has a very tiny bandwidth. It's just one or two bits of information can go in, which is why more often than not, the moment there's 5 or more factors that come into play, we are consciously unable to keep track of all 5 at the same time. It is much better to use something that has unlimited, almost near unlimited bandwidth to compute a problem for you and spit out an intelligent, well thought out decision. Now, how do some people try to activate the subconscious mind while taking decisions? You must have heard of the saying, let me sleep over it. This is one that I personally use a lot, right? People tend to sleep over decisions. Some people will mull over a decision until they feel, like they're leaning a certain way, and they'll go towards that. Well, the way to amplify that and to speed it up, and this is where I'm teaching you how to go subconscious, is to bring it about by design. So instead of defaulting into a subconscious state, you deliberately go subconscious. And here's how you do it. Think of any time where you've had a brilliant idea, where you've come up with a fantastic solution, where something is just, you've had an aha moment and boom, you know exactly what to do. What were you doing when the idea came to you? Think back. If you think back and you try to remember the circumstances, you're going to realize that you weren't actively trying to solve the problem. Maybe you were driving, maybe you were taking a shower, maybe you were gardening, maybe you were reading a book, maybe you were having a chat with somebody completely unrelated to the problem that was going on in the back end of your mind. And then boom, you had the solution. So that's literally how the subconscious works. Now, what's the protocol that I recommend my clients use? And I'm going to share that with you right now. You spend some time absorbing all the information, because you need to feed data into the subconscious mind, and that can only be done consciously. So you look at all the parameters, you look at all the factors, you look at all the variables. Maybe you spend half an hour, 1 hour, depending on the magnitude of the decision you need to take. Spend some time absorbing all the information, getting it in your head. So this is called the influx or the inflow or the data loading or data overloading stage. Then you disconnect and go do something else. Go for a walk, go get a workout in, go for a run, disconnect, go out with your friends or family, spend some time with your loved ones, go watch Netflix, do anything that takes your mind off the decision. It takes you away from the computational stage, the computational phase of the data that you've been working with. And at some point in time, during that other activity, you're gonna have an aha moment. And here's how it works. After the overload stage comes the processing stage. Now this, for different people, can take various amounts of time. For some people, it could be a couple of hours. For other people, it could be a day, a couple of days, right? That's why sometimes people will wake up in the morning and they'll have the best idea when they're taking care of business in the bathroom, because they're subconscious and they've overloaded themselves with data and they've slept over it, and now they know what to do. So the way I train my clients is to go subconscious at the drop of a hat, because the one struggle that people have is they want to go subconscious, they want to disconnect, but their mind keeps bringing them back. And the trick is to truly disconnect, to truly let go, to truly stop thinking about the variables that you've been absorbing. I remember I was prepping for an exam, and I woke up the next morning, and the dream I had was I was running around on an Excel sheet. I think it was a math or an accounting exam or a meeting where I had to do numbers. I was running around in the dream on the Excel sheet, looking at numbers, escaping from numbers, so on and so forth. So the trick is you take a walk, you go for a movie, you do any of the different activities I explained to you to go subconscious, and let your mind, your subconscious mind, do the processing for you. Think of it this way. The mere act of you not thinking about it is helping you to think about it. So try this out. Leave a comment down below about what decision next that you're planning on taking and how you're going to implement this protocol. If you like this video, like, subscribe, share. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.